All right, we're back on the air. Garyj Sports Page on GJRB Online. Thank you so much for joining me today. We got some great sports to talk about here on GJRB Online. Yeah, we are back. The Garyj Sports Page, always a fabulous time to join you. It's a great sports talk radio at its very best, and it's fabulous to be able to be on the air again on a Saturday afternoon talking sports here on GJRB Online. And like I said, if you want to be part of the program, you're welcome to do that. All you have to do is get in on that by hitting that call button on the Facebook, or calling me on the Facebook. Calling me on Skype. That's what I meant to say. That's Gary.Russin. And you can get on the program and talk about sports, and that's what we're doing today here on GJRB Online. All right, tell you what we're going to do right now, though. We're going to get started. I got a lot of really interesting things to talk about, so let's get rolling here and get in on the talking about some of the NFL and taking a look at some of the schedules here. And we're going to start with my favorite team, of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Got some really good stuff here. And let's see what we got here. Let's see if it open up. See if it's still working. No, yeah. Wondering how this is going to... It's just kind of buffering. We have this internet issue here that gets annoying at times. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay, good. Let's take a look at what we got here in the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule here. Starting with week 1. September 8th is the first game of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Will be September 8th, week 1, September 8th. And doesn't really give you the teams that are playing against, do they? Do they bring you all any of the... No, it doesn't. No, I thought maybe they would at least tell you that. So we're going to look at the Pittsburgh Steelers website and see maybe perhaps they could... but the first game will be on September 8th. That's Sunday, September 8th. Let's click that.
There they go, John.
Okay, let's click that out. Balloons being released in Cleveland once. Where is that? What's that from? Anyway, so I'm going to go to the Steelers website for that because I'm not getting anywhere with it, with that schedule. But that's September 8th, which is let's see, be a week from this coming Sunday, because this Sunday is the 1st. And September starts on a Sunday. Tomorrow is the 25th, so we got like about a couple weeks before that starts. September 8th, and I'll find out exactly. I don't like that one anyway because they don't tell you who they're playing against. So I'll have to go into the Steelers website. Also, we'll do the Bears as well, and find out what's going on with them. As far as their schedule, and we'll do Green Bay and a few teams. So if you want to have your team up there, we'll talk about their schedule as well. Garyj Sports Page on GJRB Online. You can join me on this and talk about your team's schedule. I'm going to go to the. Let me go, just for the sake of it. Let's see. I'm going to go into the Pittsburgh Steelers website. Should be able to tell me exactly who they're playing, and then we can work from there. Okay, so let's see. Here we go, the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule, and I think this is a better one because it tells you who. Now in preseason, they are slated to play the Titans tomorrow at 7:00 p.m. And then on the 8th. 7:20, they play the Patriots. So that first game is against the Patriots. Then they go and play against the 49ers on the 22nd. Let's see here. Well, let's see. The preseason Some of the games are 6 o'clock Thursday, 8:29. And they played the Panthers. And then, so the 29th, they have a game against the Panthers preseason. And then they played the Seahawks at noon on September 15th, the following week. That's noon Eastern time, I think. Yeah, Central time, because they're using our time zone here, I think. Then they play up against the 49ers on the 22nd. That's a late game. And then the next night game with the Steelers, that'll be national. I'll probably watch that, against the Bengals. That'll probably be on NBC, the 15th. September 15th. Let's take a look. I think that's Sunday. Yep, Sunday night, the 15th. They play against Cincinnati. That will be on NBC, so I'll probably be watching that game. October 6th, that's a noon game, and then they play against the Chargers on October 13th. That's another night game. So we got I have maybe at least by October, at least 3 chances to catch the Steelers games live television. October 13th is a Sunday, so I'll be watching that game. It's a Sunday night game. And then they play Miami, and that's a 7:15 on October 28th. Okay, so we must have a bye week in there, because that's, let's see, 15th, 22nd. October 6th. Oh, we're skipping around because I'm looking at it the wrong way. That's probably why. October 15th to 22nd. September 22nd to September 30th. That's a Monday night game. That'll be on ESPN. That's my wife and I's anniversary, so I probably won't see that game. Let's see. Ravens, they play on October 6th. That's a Sunday afternoon game. And then on October 13th, that's a night game, 7:20. Dolphins they play the Dolphins on the 28th, which would be a Monday night again. So that's a Monday night game, ESPN. I'll be able to get that game right now. Let's see, then in November on the 3rd, they're playing against the Colts. Rams are up against the Rams on November 10th. November 14th, they play another night game against the Browns. Oh, wow. Man, they've got I got a good 2 or 3 or 4 good chances to watch them on nationwide television. Great. There's their bye week. I don't know, they don't mark their bye weeks. So probably, these are some of the preseason ones they have marked here. But their bye week isn't marked here. So I think that I have a good chance to at least, I think 3 or 4 good chances there to see them nationwide. For sure. November 14th again, 7:20 in the evening. The Bengals, that probably, let's see. Some of them, that doesn't count the possibility. These are all Central Time. This doesn't count the possibility of seeing them on nationwide TV in the afternoon on a Sunday too. Because there's a lot of times when they'll have maybe that as a second game here on our local television. So maybe perhaps I'll get to see some more games on our local television on a Sunday. So, I mean, I have a good chance to see Pittsburgh games. I do. I think I have a really good chance to see a lot of them. So, fabulous. Hey, we'll take a look at the Bears later on. Let's see. Why don't we continue? Let's see, where are we now? We left off on November 14th. So we're dropping now. We're heading into December. They have a game against the Browns, 3:25. December 8th, they play the Cardinals, December 8th at 3:25. Then they play the Bills on December 15th. That's a noon game. And then on December 22nd, which just before Christmas, they play the Jets, a noon game. And then right after Christmas on December 29th at noon, they play the Ravens. Those are some of that's the schedule for the Pittsburgh Steelers right on up to the end of the year. So we have some good football there. Really good football with the Steelers, yeah. Because I'll be getting at least see almost half the season of the Pittsburgh Steelers if they're carried here. Depends on the network, either CBS or Fox, whether or not our Fox, which is KLJB Fox 18 or WHBF Channel 4, whether or not they'll have those games carried in this area and whether or not I'll be able to see those. So we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at some more football schedules, and we'll look at the Bears next. And you want to be a part of the show, it'll be fabulous. Just join me here, the Garyj Wrestling with us, and we're doing sport. We're doing the schedule for some of the football games. So coming up, let's see. Some of these stories are old, so I'm going to probably search around and see if I can find some more from like the Fox feeds and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and go into some of the stories here coming up and talk about a few of those. Because the one that was kind of interesting was this guy, the linebacker Paul Warrilow, is going to retire from the NFL just after he joined the Ravens. And we'll talk about that one coming up. And a few other sports reports coming up. We'll do those. And we last season when we did this show, we used to do a sports update at the bottom top of the hour, kind of like the national sports people do. But I'm finding out I can't really do that because it gets to a point where I can't really keep up. So we're just going to do sports stories as, just talking about it. Not really, doing sports news, but not really doing a sports report. We're just going to talk sports, but we're not going to do a sports report. Top of the hour, we'll flip, and hour 2, part 2, but we're not going to do any sports updates or anything like we did last time. I'd like to, but I'm going to have to work on it a little bit. Need to practice that. And like I said before, this is my first show in a long time, so this is going to be a little slight format change. I'm going to probably be doing that once in a while. On our tighter shows once they're prepped, but to be able to do it. But like I said before, I am kind of hampered by the fact that I don't have a printer to be able to write up a sports report and be able to run it every 30 minutes with voicers and stuff, which I could do like radio, but like I said, it takes more prep to do that. So I'm just doing fly at the seat of my pants freestyle today, but I'll be doing that later on. But Saturday sports pages like this one's going to be leisurely, laid back, freestyle, and then when I go to the 3-hour plan, it's going to be every 30-minute sports updates, and we'll do it that way. But for now, yeah. And of course I have to take some prep because I might just pre-record those. Depends on, we do still live scores, but like I said, it takes practice to do that and be able to be right spot on. So we got to talk about this story about the Warlow, but right now I am going to let's see here. I'm going to go back to the score page and keep up to date on the scores. So why don't we do that, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit about this Warlow. Let's see, we can just go back to the main sports page. Does not let me do that. So, okay, here we go. And let's see, I'm going to put it on soon. You have to wait till the video starts. One thing too about these pages where these videos are on, they start and then they interrupt me, which gets kind of annoying too. Especially when I'm trying to get in the middle of a sentence. So I usually try to stop them before they start. So right now, why don't we do that real quick? Let's do another sports page update and take a look at some scores. And we're going to do that right now. All right, let's take a look. Washington now. The Cubs got a couple runs in the top of the fifth inning, or top of the sixth inning right now. That's where they're at. The Cubs are still losing. Washington ahead of the Cubs 5-2. The Yankees are still scoreless at the top of 3. Atlanta and New York Mets tonight. Los Angeles Angels against Houston. San Francisco going to play Oakland tonight. Arizona against Milwaukee. And let's see, later on tonight, Cincinnati's going to play Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay against Baltimore. Philadelphia will be playing against Miami. In the American League, Texas is going to play the White Sox. And Kansas City playing Cleveland. And the only games going on right now live as we're talking, of course, is the Cubs losing against Washington. So that's what's happening now. Garyj J Sports Page on GJRB Online here on Spreaker across America. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the sports page right here on GJRB Online. Across America and around the world, wherever you're listening, I hope you're enjoying the program. You can listen to this after the fact later on, too, as a recorded podcast. You can get in on this show a little bit more. The recorded podcast available to you on the GJRB Spreaker public site. So you can listen to the program live again today. Later on, just pre-recorded. So if you have any input, you want to catch us live later on, or you can just listen to us as a on-demand podcast that's available to you right here. All right, tell you what we're going to do right now. I'm going to get ready for another Weather on the Fives here on GJRB Online, and then I'm going to be setting up the new next hour. Got some more interesting things to talk about. We've got more sports stories that we're going to get in on next hour, talking about linebacker Paul Warlow, who's going to retire from the NFL just shortly after he joined the Ravens. And the USA Basketball falls to Australia in an exhibition game, and it's their first loss in 13 years. So that's coming up in the next hour of Sports Page right here on GJRB Online. Okay. Sunshine in our area for right now. We're going to take a look at our weather on the fives here in a little bit. And the next hour, we're going to do our Weather Nation and see what storms are happening. Some of the football NFL preseason action going on. New Orleans is going to play the New York Jets. Seattle is going to play the LA Chargers. Denver is up against the Rams, LA Rams. And then San Francisco is going to play Kansas City. That's tomorrow, 7 o'clock p.m. 8 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. Oh, that's tonight, not tomorrow. At 7 o'clock, San Francisco playing Kansas City. 8 o'clock, the Rams will play Denver. And at 9 o'clock, the Seattle Seahawks are going to play the Los Angeles Chargers. And at 6:30 tonight, not tomorrow, tonight, it'll be New Orleans playing the Jets. So those are some of the games coming up later on in NFL preseason. GJRB Online here on Spreaker across America. I'm Garyj J. Russell. You're listening to the Garyj J Sports Page. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the program, and we've got a lot coming up. So let's get started at early weather on the fives. Take a look at some national temperatures and see what's going on nationwide. Los Angeles, California, right now 86 degrees and fair. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, checking in at 74 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Salem, Massachusetts, 71 degrees and cool, partly cloudy. Paducah, Kentucky, checking in at 78 degrees and partly cloudy. Omaha, Nebraska is 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, 77 in North Platte, Nebraska. Coming up next hour, we'll take a look at some of the temperatures in other parts of the country, including Houston, Texas, and seeing what it is over there in OSB country, OBFSU country there. And we'll take a look at some of those. We're going to take a look at Fairbanks temperatures, and let's take a look at my home city of Ambridge, too, as well, and see what some of those areas. In Dallas, Texas, let's see, Tampa, Florida. Let's throw that in there for the sake of it. And Fort St. Lucie, Florida. Some of the areas, let's take a look at those. Houston, Texas, again, 92 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Fairbanks, Alaska is coolest. Fair, 54 degrees. And back home in Ambridge, 73 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tampa, Florida, 93 under cloudy skies. And Port St. Lucie, around that same state, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Weather on the fives, 25 and 45 minutes past each hour on all music shows, 25 and 55 on all talk shows, and any time in the hour that ends in 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, or 55 minutes past the hour on GJRB online on all daily broadcasts. Garyj Sports Page. And stay with me, because later on this hour I have some more really neat stuff to talk about, and I hope that you'll tune in. I've got a lot of really good stories that we're going to get in on, so stay with me for that. That's coming up next here on GJRB Online. Garyj Sports Page. This is where it's happening, man. We got the best in sports, sports talk, and I'm going to get a hold of Ben Osman and see if he's home, and see if he wants to talk a little bit Steelers with us, a little bit maybe. And along with that, he can talk about anything else he wants besides sports. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up next. And you can be in on this and talk about all kinds of good things. Garyj Sports Page. We'll be right back. This is the GJRB Online Network. Recently, the owner of Facebook had to face Congress over personal information on Facebook users. In addition, users were saying that their postings were being deleted. Getting sick and tired of your censorship and your data being used without your permission? Do something about it now. Come to MeWe, the internet social site that values your freedom. No more deleted postings. Make a step to freedom. Sign up today. It's easy. Go to www.mewe.com. That's M-E-W-E. MeWe, the internet's free speech social site. Coast to coast and way out there, fans, listen up. If you like UFO conspiracies, ghosts, and the paranormal, you'll love Spaced Out Radio, Spreaker's answer to Coast AM, with more interesting guest experts in the paranormal and UFOs each month. If you like Way Out There, you'll love Spaced Out Radio. Own the night with Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Nightly at 11 p.m. Central, 12 o'clock midnight Eastern, and 9 p.m. Pacific. On Spreaker, on Periscope, and on D-Talk Radio Network. There's a problem on our roads today, and that is the safety of our children boarding and getting off the bus on busy roads. That problem is drivers who don't stop for a school bus when the arm is out, the lights are flashing, and the stop sign is out, leaving kids in danger of getting hit. Violators of this law could get a suspension of their driver's license and a $250 fine. When you see a school bus stop at a corner, letting off kids, stop 25 feet away from the bus. Don't take that chance. A public service announcement from the National Highway Safety Administration and GJRB Online. America's Street Music is back on GJRB Bluegrass with the Grass Golds, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys, and so much more. So it's time to bring it back, and on more often. It's Bluegrass Jubilee Freestyle, with all the great songs you heard before, and some new up-and-coming stars with some emerging bluegrass. Also, some all-time gospel favorites, too. On GJRB. This is the GJRB Online Network.